Sometimes the most dangerous invitation comes wrapped in the promise of peace. Matthew Ellis had been estranged from his family for months. The bitter divorce proceedings had torn the family apart at the seams. Then came the phone call that would change everything. His family wanted to reconcile. They wanted him to come home for dinner. After months of hostility, this sudden change of heart felt almost too good to be true. But Matthew Ellis was desperate for his family back. The invitation came from the very people who had turned their backs on him, his wife's family. The people who blamed him for everything that had gone wrong. They claimed they wanted to make things right. They wanted to heal the wounds. Matthew Ellis believed them. He wanted to believe them, so he accepted the invitation to what he thought would be a new beginning. Instead, he was walking straight into a carefully orchestrated trap. If you're finding value in this, hit subscribe, so you don't miss what's coming next. Behind the facade of family unity, Matthew's relationship was crumbling under unbearable pressure. His partner had grown distant, cold. Their conversations had turned into weapons, but the real poison was coming from within the Ellis family itself. They whispered behind closed doors, made decisions about Matthew's future without him. Family dinners became battlegrounds where every word carried hidden meaning. Matthew tried to salvage what was left. He begged. He pleaded for understanding. But the Ellis family had already made their choice. He was the problem that needed solving. Arguments escalated beyond normal family disputes. Threats began to surface. Matthew's partner stopped defending him, started taking sides against him. Phone calls were made, plans discussed in hushed tones when Matthew left the room. The psychological warfare was relentless. Matthew was being systematically isolated. He couldn't see it yet, but the Ellis family was preparing for something final. What Matthew thought was just family drama was actually a conspiracy forming around him. And that conspiracy was about to take a deadly turn that would shock even the investigators. As the investigation deepened, a chilling picture began to emerge. This wasn't a crime of passion. This was something far more sinister. Kevin Ellis, Alyssa's brother-in-law, emerged as the alleged mastermind behind the plot. But Kevin wouldn't act alone in this deadly conspiracy. Alyssa herself allegedly became a willing participant in her own husband's destruction. The family had allegedly spent weeks planning every detail. The reconciliation dinner was nothing more than an elaborate trap. Text messages would later reveal the cold calculation behind their actions. They had allegedly discussed how to lure Ryan to his death. Evidence suggested they had even planned what to do with the body. This wasn't just about money or custody. This was about complete elimination. Ryan Chapman walked into that house completely unaware. He believed he was fighting for his marriage. Instead, he was walking toward his execution. The reconciliation dinner had gone exactly as planned. The family gathered around the table, sharing what would be their victim's final meal. But this wasn't about forgiveness. This was about positioning. Getting close enough to ensure there would be no escape. According to investigators, the signal came without warning. A nod. A glance. The coordinated movement of a family turned executioners. The first shot came from behind. Close range. No chance to run. No time to plead. But one shot wasn't enough. This wasn't passion. This was methodical, calculated, cold-blooded. 7 shots total. 7 deliberate pulls of the trigger. Each one ensuring there would be no survivor to tell this story. The forensic evidence would later paint a horrifying picture. blood spatter patterns consistent with execution-style killing, gunshot residue on multiple family members, close-range powder burns. The physical evidence of a coordinated family murder. The ballistics told the true story. Multiple shooters. Different angles. A family working together to end a life. They had invited him to dinner, knowing it would be his last. The reconciliation was nothing more than bait in their deadly trap. As forensic experts processed the scene, one thing became crystal clear. This wasn't a crime of passion. 7 shots meant 7 conscious decisions to kill, 7 moments where any one of them could have stopped. But they didn't stop. They kept firing until they were certain their family member was dead. The 911 call came in at 8:47 p.m. 7 gunshots had shattered the evening quiet. When detectives arrived at the scene, they found more than just a murder. They found a stage. The dinner plates were still warm, the wine glasses barely touched, everything arranged too perfectly. Detective Maria Santos knew immediately something was wrong with the family's story. Their grief seemed rehearsed, their timeline kept shifting, and their alibis were falling apart. The breakthrough came when investigators found the burner phone hidden in Sarah's bedroom closet. Text messages revealed months of planning. Cold, calculated conversations about insurance money and inheritance. The most damning evidence was caught on a neighbor's security camera. The footage showed Michael arriving exactly when the family claimed he was already inside. Within 72 hours, the web of lies began unraveling faster than they could spin new ones. Sarah broke first. Then her brother. One by one, they turned on each other. The conspiracy reached deeper than anyone imagined. 3 family members. 1 deadly plan. As we covered in the beginning, this was never about reconciliation. It was about cold-blooded execution. 2 years have passed since that deadly dinner invitation. The wheels of justice turn slowly when a family conspiracy this deep runs so cold. Today, 3 defendants sit behind bars, their freedom stripped away, as they await the trial that will determine their fate. The mother-in-law. The brother-in-law. The estranged wife. Each facing murder charges that could lock them away for life. But proving their guilt won't be simple. The prosecution faces a monumental task ahead. They must prove beyond reasonable doubt that this wasn't just a family tragedy. This was premeditated murder. They'll need to show the jury that phone call wasn't spontaneous. That dinner invitation was calculated. Cold-blooded. The defense will argue it was self-defense. That years of abuse drove this family to their breaking point. But 7 gunshots tell a different story. 7 bullets don't whisper self-defense, they scream execution. This case represents something larger. A disturbing trend where family violence escalates beyond all recognition. When restraining orders fail. When separation isn't enough. When a family decides murder is their only solution. The victim's children now grow up without a father. His legacy reduced to crime scene photos and court testimonies. The trial is set for 2026. Justice delayed, but the truth cannot be buried forever. When that gavel